Extra, extra, read all about it. Welcome to the Empires Recap, and today we will be going over the chaos and drama of our somewhat respected rulers. This week, a very special tea party takes place, which means drinks, food, games, and a murder mystery?
We start today's events 6 months ago, or Sausage does at least. He's been sent to the past where there is no bubbles to bring him back by his evil alter ego. How's he gonna get back? Meanwhile, Evil Sausage has some dastardly plans. After letting Dolores loose, he threatens Maria into an outfit change so he can parade her on the server in disguise. He infiltrates a meeting at Spawn, and nobody notices anything different. King Pix has demanded a tribute, and since Sanctuary doesn't have a protector anymore, Evil Sausage gives the shield of Sanctuary. Back in the past, regular Sausage remembers a time spell he did a long time ago. It requires
a lot of clocks. Step 2, a lot of blood. Step 3, 1 with a rose. Step 4, a soul.
It works, and just in time. He's been invited to a royal princess tea party, which requires him to wear a dress. Maria resizes an old festival fit for him, and he heads off. After he comes home, he finds out Evil Sausage has trapped Hermes in a cage, in order to lure him in to kill him. After an epic fight, which includes Sausage being thrown around like a ping pong ball, Bubbles breaking Hermes out, and a seriously cool lighting sequence, it's over. Sausage merges himself and the other him into one, and then Reign of Terror is over. He's finally gone.
A good king listens to his subjects. On such advice, Pixel Riffs has added lecterns to the Empire exhibits for the books explaining their history, and just in time for the newest addition to the collection, the Banner of Dawn. The others will bring their tributes. They have time, right?
I expect we will be king for a good while yet, and that will give people plenty of time to come and drop off their possessions.
In the moments where he's not being the king, Pix resumes his work as an architect, planning the castle's layout and finding another setting on his watch to assist with octagons, so they don't just look like badly made circles.
An interloper. In the king's kingdom. In the king's very kingdom. Haha! There are people skulking around my nether portal. Who goes there?
Less interlopers and more inviters. Jem and Catherine have a message to personally deliver to the king, once they find a way down from the tower that doesn't involve Catherine dying. As the dust settles, they offer Pix an invite to a specifically princess tea party. Even the king can be a princess on such an occasion. Someone drops off a massive axe for their empire's tribute. Shame they forgot to label who it's from. Unlike Scott, who not only signs his offerings, but leaves both a hat and a crystal that could be its own exhibit. Ollie stops by to admire the crown, though from a safe enough distance to assuage the kingly paranoia, and he's no help identifying the axe. He doesn't even know what counts as historical from his own empire. With promise of a humane display, however, Pix convinces him to retrieve the Strider Ollie used to speedrun his first episode, and they both deliver. Ollie brings the Strider in with Fwip's help, and Pixel Riffs builds a lava-filled track under the museum floor to house it. Fwip also drops off his own tribute, though it's a bit large to fit in the museum.
I'm gonna sleep before this thing lags out my entire base. He's given me a sign that says stone. Notice he hasn't given me any of the stone. Something that would be incredibly helpful in my current build. Clip it. Clip it for the king.
The king heads to Glimmergrove, having become the king princess for the tea party, and is warmly greeted by his subjects.
Hail the king!
My royal subjects!
I love you so much, king!
Mwah, mwah.
Oh yeah!
Tumblr's gonna love that bit.
Drinks are flowing, people are laughing, and a game of hide-and-seek is a perfect cap to the festivities. And then something goes wrong.
But what? They haven't found me, have they? Oh God! Why does this hurt so much? Guys, something's wrong.
The king is dead.
The crown, it seemed, had other ideas for who was destined to wear it, and oh my goodness.
Pixel Riffs is not quite alive either. His skin is translucent, and that which once was ethereal to him now seems solid, including a ghost cat in the catacombs. But death doesn't finish any business, and he's not inclined to rest yet, not with Jimmy's form of tribute being to enclose the museum in the famous Andy's wallpaper.
Well, that makes 2 contributions to the museum that wouldn't exactly fit on the inside. I think we've found somebody we can haunt for the first time.
More sensibly sized are the Elytra of Eversea and the Great Witch Wand from the Evermore. Even though he's no longer king, people still seem inclined to help Pix finish this piece of history, now that he's become one himself. Or perhaps...
Maybe the archaeologist of the ancient capital and the creator of the museum was a piece of the past himself all along. Either way, I still have a lot to do.
What's this? A mysterious note has been delivered to Catherine saying someone needs her and her friends' help. Luckily, Lizzie arrives asking for blue wool, which Catherine gives her in return for her help with the note. The two find the trail of blue flowers, which leads to a weird blue mushroom. Weird. They go to fill the composts and nothing happens. She heads to the flower forest to gather some flowers and leaves in order to make a royal garden. It comes out beautiful, and even has a space to sit and relax. Meanwhile, it turns out that the mushroom grew into more mushrooms. Now they want her to get rid of the goats, and wow, how much are they gonna ask of her? Well, now that she has the new pet goat, she has to go to spawn. Unfortunately, now she has to give up her battle axe for the museum, but she'll get it back after he's done being king. Then, Catherine has a wonderful idea. A princess tea party. The best part is the dress code. Everyone must wear a dress. How wonderful. Wish I could go. Everyone looks so good. What? Pigs died? What happened? Well, a new hand has touched the ground, and thus comes a new rule. Now ghosts are crashing the party? What is happening? Well, now that everything's done, Catherine cleans up, only to find Shelby's checking in. But why is she asking about killing people, and Shelby's having skull spread? Why is she being so mean?
Shelby's been struggling a little recently. The skulk makes her stronger, more powerful, but the actions she's taken to get here are upsetting. Her friend Evil Sausage does his best to help, to teach her meditation and how to not care, but he's not the best teacher. He gifts her a skulk catalyst and many skulk veins so she can plant them in the center of the Evermore.
Take this, plant it in the center of the Evermore, and sacrifice something.
And then no more feeling bad?
You'll never feel bad again.
She makes a note of it for the Fae. She doesn't know how they got here, but the two sausages are something to report. Another thing the Fae wished from her was cartographic evidence of Glimmergrove's curse. It's convenient then that Catherine just sent her an invite to a party there. Shelby does know of a spell allowing her to hide her secrets and gain a beautiful dress, as long as she's home before midnight. We'll see if she leaves Catherine a glass slipper. She can't go evil until after the party because that would be rude, so she takes her old wand to give to King Pix in his museum and follows up on some of the other errands the Fae have sent her on. Page 2 of her research notes concludes there is no more skulk in Animalia, and page 3 reports the gold farm is purely mechanical. She's lucky she didn't get her dress dirty before the party. The chaos is par for the course when you get 12 rulers in a room together, but the drama really starts when they play hide and seek. In itself, not a particularly dramatic game, but when Pix withers away and Scott claims the crown as new king of the server, she's lucky she gets the evidence for the Fae before she starts getting blamed for the murder. After the chaos, Shelby visits Catherine while she's cleaning up. She just gets so angry that she can't help Catherine and Catherine can't help her. The magic is out of their control. Neither really know how to fix it. Evil Sausage promised the Skull Catalyst would help her. She doesn't want to feel bad anymore. Poor Ollie shows up at just the wrong time to talk about his song. The only thing singing here is a scythe's blade.
It's meeting time for the Chromia ruler, and meeting with his fellows reveals a plan for vacation homes at spawn and a very powerful crown. Pix found this crown somewhere and declares a rule. All emperors must donate an artifact to his museum.
If he doesn't have a head on his shoulders, he's not wearing it anymore.
This actually works out pretty well for Scott since he wants to acquire things from other empires. This is a pretty easy way to do it, seeing as everything is going to be in one place.
Don't get grabby hands, don't get grabby hands, don't get grabby hands.
He convinces himself not to steal and instead gives his gift to the temporary king, but as an acquirer of valuable objects that somehow come to be in his possession, the crown seems like an artifact to be added to the list. If he is to be a king, even one without a rule to impose yet, his empire must reflect a certain status. Scott takes time going around Chromia and fixing things up around the place. Spring cleaning, you know? The manor house he built is still quite cold and drafty, so he takes his time to add in some basic parts of the interior, namely the ceilings. The proper interior can't be finished with the limited number of resources, so the library and games room get a little decoration instead. An invite has gone around to the Empires for a princess party, so of course Scott pulls out his best dressed and heads over. Princess parties, according to the rulers, have quite a bit of kissing and some fun games to play. Despite all the drama and, becoming king, it's still not the weirdest thing to happen to Scott in that dress. That honor goes to the weird mushroom grove outside of Stratos. A note says some creatures want him to bring them a brown mushroom as he is a collector of oddities. Weird. Scott's rule, as the new king, is for the emperors to do some manual labor for him. He wants some new buildings in Chromia, and what a better way to get them? That was a very weird tea party, and nobody even found out if it was Professor Plum. This week, Flip's got his friends recording his intro, a precursor to the chaos to come. He starts out by beginning a new mega project, transforming the world spawn into a neutral meeting place for the emperors. After constructing the stone facade and terraforming the surrounding landscape, some friends come to visit. While there, Pix finds the crown, and Flip's got just the donation in mind to obey his ruling that all emperors must contribute to his museum. That's a problem for future Flip, though, as right now the emergency horn is ringing. He arrives just in time to witness Jimmy slaughter one of the employees in retaliation for Lizzie and Flip's rival gunpowder farm. Despite getting thoroughly bonked, Jimmy escapes and leaves Flip seething. After that, Flip decides to improve his farm even more by building an airship AFK point for his farm, complete with an alarm system in case a certain sheriff ever tries to sneak up on him. Next, he transplants the power source from Goblin's stone sign into a new sign placed obnoxiously right outside Pixel Rift's museum. He never specified what size of items he wanted. After a quick detour to dig tunnels, so many tunnels, to totally legally borrow Joel's sugarcane, he is ambushed by Catherine and Jem, who come bearing invitations to a princess tea party. And although he rocks the dress, tragedy strikes the tea party, and once the dust settles, Scott has got the crown, demanding all emperors build something in his empire. Flip decides to be even more maliciously compliant than last time, constructing a goblin wagon and hiding an ear-splitting secret. He finishes his episode on a calmer note by working on the spawn building, finishing the stone shapes and starting on some of the finer details.
Jimmy starts his episode checking in on the Fay tree. Along with the addition of a small pond, the trees have grown quite a bit. He seems to correlate the fact that he has the biggest tree with being the best. During stream, Jimmy got another Fay note. They asked him to retrieve a creeper skull, but not just any creeper skull. The skull of the first creeper, whatever that means. The Fae want to study the skull to figure out how to come to this realm, and Jimmy will not let them down. He goes to collect the map from the Pillager outpost south of Temple Town. He finds a map that leads him to the first creeper's temple. Within the temple, he finds signs with some rather cryptic messages on them. Following the instructions of the signs, he waits until nightfall and the secret passage opens. Finding his way through numerous traps and trials, he finally finds the skull. Jimmy forgets the signs, which told him not to be greedy. He takes some gold, which spawns some mobs, but he quickly puts it back, so all sins forgiven. After, he takes the skull back to the tree and waits for the Fae to take it and reward him. He waits, and waits, and waits, and nothing happens. The crowd he's amassed through his waiting accuse him of being in a cult. As Jimmy starts to walk away with the skull, Flip and Lizzie share that they want to give him a cut from the gunpowder farm. A very small cut. A very small cut for a very small man. Vexes start to spawn, scaring Jimmy into putting the skull back at the tree. All the Vexes motivate Jimmy to burn the skull, which spawns some hoglins that end up killing him. When he comes back to get his stuff, he finds that he has 2 skulls in his inventory. Jimmy's sure he's cursed. After burning them again, Ravagers spawn and kill him, giving him 4 skulls. In the end, the Fae take all 4 skulls from him with no word. After all that, Jimmy wants to be a bit evil, and builds his Toy Story wall around the museum for his artifact for pigs. He then attends a princess tea party. Everyone sure does look fabulous.
Hola! I've had 7 mojitos!
Our beloved mayor has been invited to a tea party.
Unfortunately for her, the only costume she has is a goat head, which is not fitting for a princess tea party. Fear not, because the Fae are here to help. They lead her to a deep dark cave via compass, where she discovers that the warden has her dress. And not only does it have her dress, it's wearing it. After many deaths, she finally kills the warden and proudly walks home. And yes, I do mean walk. Lizzie ran out of rockets while flying around in the deep dark. It's time for the tea party, and what an eventful one it is. They play hide and seek, but during it the king dies. A new king picks up the crown and Lizzie flies home. What a stressful evening.
Joey, as usual, is fashionably late to showing his side of the meeting at spawn. A pirate is always ready to mutiny against a so-called king.
All hail the king!
The king will fall!
Joey, you can't shout treason right at the very first meeting of the king. Come on, give it a week.
Oh, okay. Alright, sorry.
Well, a museum filled with treasure is a prime target for a pirate, so he scopes the place out while dropping off a pair of Eversea and Elytra. On his way home, he finds a cryptic invite to Glimmergrove talking about a dress. Good thing he's always wearing a dress, or, well, a well-draped robe counts, right? A princess tea party sounds like a chance to find a new pirate princess, since his undying love for Catherine has cooled. Joey tries to make a new first impression.
Introducing Joey of Eversea.
Yo, what's up, ladies? Hey,
Excuse
I
me?
hope I can get your first impression, Rose. I'll see you inside.
Tea, cookies, and mojitos? Now this is a party. A game of hide and seek that Joey was definitely going to win ends abruptly. Joey's gotten his wish. King Pixelriffs is dead. Immediately, the finger-pointing begins. One of them must be a killer. Even when the ghost of Pixelriff says there isn't anyone to blame, Joey's got his eye on that cursed and cursing witch Shelby. Scott is the new king, and his decree is for buildings from each emperor within the grounds of Chromia. Everything for the king. They have their own empires, you know.
Apparently I have to build something for Scott? That sounds awful. I don't want to do that. I have enough things that I have to do around Eversea. My goodness.
And Joey has a child to think about now. A beautiful, blooming Plantia. She even shares her father's love of dragging people. She gives him a quest to slay a ferocious beast, and Joey is happy to oblige. He follows the compass to a lair filled with warning signs, which always means treasure, right? And how bad could this beast be?
Oh, you're not a ferocious beast. Oh, but you're so cute. Oh. Ah! Die, ferocious beast!
Joey returns to Plantia victorious, and to Eversea appreciative. Of course Scott wants some Eversean beauty in his land. Who wouldn't?
And with that, join us next week for more chaos and shenanigans. Thank you for watching, liking and subscribing, and thanks to everyone helping out with the project. Check them all out down below.